Hey guys, thanks for joining this video. In today's video, I'm going to show you making gorgeous earrings and a fantastic tassel necklace. I just finished the end of video try on and now I'm filming the intro for it. So in this video, I take you through step by step, the whole process of all the analysis and putting it together and coming up with this design. I'm really excited about how the tassel came out. I really love a beaded tassel. And these Golem Design Studio poppy beads, look how cute these are. Feels pretty. I mean, like when I first saw those, I couldn't believe it. I didn't even know it was reversible when I first looked at it. So when you see the part where I've recorded in the, what's it called? The materials, look up, all of that, I did not realize it was reversible. So I want to show you that now. Isn't that cute? I just was looking at one side and I was impressed enough with the one side that I didn't flip it over. And then of course the earrings are the really beautiful front and back finish on those as well. So let's dive in. I have a lot to show you, and I will show you all the materials here on the mat. So here are the beautiful materials that I'm going to be working with today. The Golem Design Studio Puffy Coin. This is the Poppy Flowers Puff Coin. It's like about 23 millimeter, 11 millimeters thick. So 3 millimeter holes. So we're dealing with a large hole bead here. And it's handmade in Bulgaria by Golem Design Studio. And then the gorgeous match set. Check out the reverse is also finished. This is the Poppy Flowers Coin Charms. So those are front drill ceramic, red and blue. Their size is about 24.5 to 25 millimeters, and they're about 7 millimeters thick. The top drilled hole is 2.5 millimeters. And again, these are those handmade in Bulgaria by Golem Design Studio. And so switching to the beads, there's a blue lace agate faceted round, and it's so pretty. It's this, almost sky blue. Really gorgeous color. And when you put it next to the freshwater pearls, these are a cultured freshwater off-round, grade A bronze dyed about 5.5 millimeter, and these are about 5.2. So nice size complement there. Those two together are very, very pretty. And then there's the Lapis. This one is so pretty. Oh my gosh, really heavy too. It's a Lapis Smooth Rondelle grade A, about 4.5. Millimeters to 8 millimeters. So, 4.5 to 5 is the measurement this way, and then 8 millimeters is the measurement this way. There's some Druk rounds. So these really, really caught my eye. I'm drawn to these, like from the moment I saw them, I just was like, oh, that's so perfect next to the coin beads. Pulls that red out. They're a coated red Picasso, and their size is about 7.5 millimeter. And again, those are Czech glass. And Firepolish Faceted Cathedral Topaz Picassos. Nice to have a little smaller bead for your designs. And those are a 4 millimeter Czech glass bead. Czech glass bead table cut ovals, 12 by 14 millimeter. It's really fun. And then here off camera, I also have 2 tubes of seed beads. And these elements are great for spacing in a strung design and for spacing in some of the wire work as well. And they are a round 15 and a round size 8. And the color on these is both metallic Nebula. So that altogether is the collection that I'm working with right now. It is stunning, really pretty, and I'm going to really enjoy creating with this collection. So the first idea that jumped out at me with these when I first saw them, because I have been getting to work with the puffed coins on a previous project, I wanted to do something that was different from that. And so I had integrated in those cases, I'd integrated them into designs where they were solidly suspended or actually strung in a way that laid as complete, like as one piece. So I thought for this design, let's experiment with using these components in more of a dangle and drop configuration. They're so unique and so easy to, oh, this one is different on one side versus the other. Apologies, I didn't show that. I just noticed that. It's so pretty. I actually like this side the most. Oh, sorry, I'm distracted. But what I mean is I want to show how they can become more of like, in the case of these coin especially, I used to use these as tassel toppers in designs that were kind of more mala-like with like a tassel at the bottom. So now what I'm thinking is beaded tassel motion, where it's freely moving separate from its things that it's connected to, and then a gorgeous strung design that it's suspended from. So that's the easy go-to thing. I'm going to be doing a lot of wire wrapping. You're going to see some head pins coming out for things like that. And then on these, I thought something very simple. We're going to find a way to either create our own jump ring or maybe make a loop that is big enough to suspend it. And then we're just going to link it to a series of suspending gems. I do really want to use these as well. So we'll play with it and we'll see. So for other materials and tools, I think the bronze colored wire in various sizes, mostly I'm going to be using 22 and 20 gauge, I think. When I get going, I might need to change that up, but that's what I think I'm going to be doing for now. But this is the color, not only that I feel like really pops out of the lapis. The lapis has flashes of gold that I think the bronze will complement very nicely next to these colors. It's just going to bring it all together. So I chose that wire color, but I feel like gold would also work, even copper, and even silver, because anytime you have blue, you can bring in silver and it will look amazing. So wire color for me, again, vintage bronze, but you can really do whatever you like. And then the tools are going to be your standard stuff like flush cutters. I'd be highly surprised if I don't use a bail forming pliers. And then of course your usual chain nose, and I'll probably use bent nose, and of course round nose, maybe some square nose. And then last but not least, I like to have handy a nylon jaw for straightening wire. Let's start by creating the suspension method for the puff coin. So what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to make a connector that's going to run through the center. Probably going to need to bring in some seed beads. I'm going to try the size 8s first and see if they fit. I have a feeling they will. And then we will go ahead and create the little connector bottom and top. You could either use a simple loop, or if you want, you could use wrapped loops. I think either way is going to look really, really nice. So let's see. I'm going to start by trying out a wrapped loop. And so that means everything we connect to it will probably need to be simple loops so we can open and close them. But just starting here with a wrapped loop configuration. And I did straighten this wire before going to work with it, so it's ready to use. It's 20 gauge again. Sorry if I forgot to mention that. And there, I'm just doing a nice simple little wrapped loop there at the top. And I'm going to trim that there. And I do bring in a lot of tools, but just when you're doing wire work, everyone has their style. I like to hold my loops in place while I tuck the little tails, especially on the starting side, because it's really easy for that to just kind of fly around. And now let's get out some of these size 8 seed beads. And I'm just going to start by putting a few on. So let's see here. We can get through with about 2 there. And then let's fill in as many we can from this side. And go ahead and try yours. You might be able to get a size 8s to fit all the way through in your design. I think this as a handmade piece, they're all going to be just a little bit different. Okay, so that works. Look at that. Okay. I'm going to go with that as far as how to fill the center. And then just taking a look at my wrap loop here, I'm going to turn it so that it's facing toward my left. And then I'm going to make another wrap loop just above it. And this time it looks like I got about 3 loops on there. Okay, and square chain nose so I can tuck that tail. There we go, perfect. So this is how it's going to look. And I have it facing sideways on purpose because I'm going to dangle things from it. And so what we'll do now is let's design a little tassel for it. It'll be a wire worked beaded tassel. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of everything that I've got. Every bead here, with the exception of maybe the table cuts, is going to become part of a beaded tassel. Let's get some of these. They're so pretty. There we go. And last but not least, our pearls. All right, let's trim this one. And I'm going to get a few more out. I just want to see, I want to see it all kind of just together. So let's go grab a few more. This is the messy approach to design. Look at all those colors together. It's really glamorous. Something that's really, really awesome. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I've got eye pins and head pins. I'm going to make little dangles. So some of them are going to dangle from others. And let's start by putting one of these big ones on here. So an eye pin. And I'm going to just fold this over. Just getting it started, and then fold it down like that. Save these extra pieces. We're going to have actually quite a lot. I'm going to trim that to approximately 1/4 inch, but save those because those could be used for these little guys. Check it out. And let's roll. So make a bunch of those. Make some of these. And use any beads, right? Just mix it all up. Just go crazy. Make as many as you can until you just get really tired of making them. And then this is going to be really freestyle. So we're going to have just stuff going everywhere, all over the place. It's going to be really cool. So just a quick note about these gorgeous pearls. My 20 gauge eye pins, so far on the first 2 I tried, weren't going through. So you may need to switch down to some 22 gauge and then just do some wrap loops since this is a soft. All right, so I've got a bunch of these fun little beaded strands that I've created. I'm just finishing one of the last ones, which I did end up having to do some wrap looping with 22 gauge for the pearls. So you'll likely find that's what you'll need to do for your pearls as well. You could even use 24, but 22s fit for me, so a little bit stronger. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a few little strands, and then I'm going to put a larger jump ring here in the bottom, and the strands are going to hang from it. So what I think I'd like to do is just kind of play with creating little strands. So let's just lay out the beads I have that have open loops versus the ones that have closed loops. Now the ones that are closed are the ones that are wrapped. And the wrapped ones we'll set over here because we know we need to suspend those. Then these are the ones that are on head pins. And I tried to have enough of these for every strand I'd like to have. So let's see. There we go. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strands. Those are on head pins because they're going to be the bottoms of strands. So we'll put those over here. Here's some that need to be joined specially because they don't open. And the rest of these are fair game to put anywhere because they are all simple loops that can be opened. Numbers that you want to create kind of random. So I just did, again, 6 because I want 6 strands. And this was just because I had extra wire. I just used those up. And then here, I'm just going to arrange them. So not necessarily in any order either. Just start putting them together. And even go ahead and don't be afraid to put larger beads below smaller beads or above smaller beads. Just make it fun. And the lengths can be different too. Here at the bottom, this one, I'm going to pick a dangle. Also, you could have more than one dangle at the bottom. So there's one. And then you can just kind of just start laying them out. And now for this next one, I'd like the top to start with a different bead. So maybe we go with one of these and we put a pearl on. Okay, and then below the pearl, let's go with let's go with red. Okay, how about one of these for a dangle? So you see, just like that, and they don't all have to be the same length either. Feel free to change that up. I'm going to create 4 more just like that. Great, so there it is. I am just digging for some, I just need a jump ring of some kind. Here we go. Actually, I have some jump rings here. Any jump rings are going to work. You could even make them with some bill forming pliers. I'm just going to grab one. I happen to have a stack of them over here. Super random. I'm looking for one that's not joined to a million others. There we go. All right. And with that jump ring, let's take the square nose plier. And we will open one side and then the bent nose pliers and open the other. I liked this order. Not stuck on it, but I do kind of like it. So I'm just going to pick them up in that order and go 1, and then 2. There's 3. And hopefully, if I'm lucky, they'll do what I'm hoping they'll do, is they'll all just kind of bunch up, right? So they look really full, but we may need to space it out. We'll see. You never know till you try, right? And if any of them are kind of not working, we just change it, right? But I was hoping for it to kind of like have like a tassel bundly look. Let's take a look and see. Back side. And there's our front side. That's kind of cool, right? I like it. I'm okay with it. So let's make a beautiful chain. This part's going to be super, super easy. All the gorgeous pearls, all the gorgeous lapis, focusing on that. But then also, just really quick, what was this gemstone called here? This one is the blue lace agate. And then again, here comes the lapis. Let me bring that over. Try not to spill my strand. So let me devise a decorative chain. And then the only other thing I was thinking is, what if we did this? What if we took this gorgeousness and we had optionally, because I'm just feeling that dangle and drop thing, what if we did something like that from the top? Could even be like that. Just really making it hang. Let me think on it. We'll see how that looks. I do want to incorporate these somewhere, even if it's just in the earrings, because those are, I love those kind of check glass. I want to do one of those little swirls that will highlight the front of the table cut. So here's some 22 gauge wire. And I'm going to just create a really tiny loop. Really, really teeny tiny. And even maybe squish it. Okay. And sorry, but my hands are so dry from winter, and I injured my hands this weekend, so I apologize for them. Always when I need to film, right? Always. And here we go. And I don't know how big I need this to be. It's just something pretty. Okay. Round nose pliers. Something like that. Could have always done this the other, the other way, but. Okay, so something like this. And let me adjust that. There we go. And then here at the bottom, something similar. You can always just make a wrap loop and leave tails. That might even be easier. Okay, so we'll go around and around from here. Get the nylon jaw pliers and just straighten that out. Okay. So I'm just going to bend this one down a little bit. So it's just kind of going to hang out on the back of it. It's going to stop it from spinning. It's pretty cute. This other one here in the front is going to be in the front. And making a guesstimate about how far down to cut. I'm thinking for this spiral, we want to go down right about to there. So I cut a little too much wire, but that is okay. I'm going to bend this back. I don't know, I just was sensing like I needed to do something vine looking because of the poppy flowers, which always make me think of, for some reason, poppy leads to me thinking about California, which leads to me thinking about wine. Anybody else or just me? So now wine, we need a vine. There we go. I might need to edit this video down a little bit, but I'm just letting the stream of consciousness happen because I had a feeling that neat things were going to happen with these beads when I saw them. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And because they're see-through, isn't that cute? Okay, so like you can see the spiral on the front and the back. There we go. So our goal with this design is to let it dance. Let it move around. No worries if it moves around on you. And then for this one, I turned it a little bit parallel, and that's going to hook into my chain. All right, chain time. Let me make a strung design, and I might have to just kind of play with it for a minute. So hang tight, and I'll show you what I end up coming up with. All right, so here we go. This is, I love doing this part. This is just the fun part, right? Just getting to string something gorgeous with beautiful gems and check glass and seed beads. It's literally all I actually ever really want to do. So this was fun. I came up with this little strand, and now I just need to decide how to join it here at the center, and then I'm going to copy. So this is one side, basically, and I'll try. I think I'm going to raise up a little bit. Hang on one sec. There we go. Let me just slide that over. So this is one side, and to give you a measurement, of course, make this to your liking, but mine is almost 11 inches. So it's going to be a longer necklace, going at almost 22 inches. When you get the clasp on, it'll probably be a little over that. But so the like suspended part's going to be right here. And it might actually be fun. I was thinking, now that I really think about it, something you could do is you can bring the beading wire down through a bead and then through the coin bead. And there's so many things. But since I've already gone to the effort to make this beautifulness, I thought I might just go ahead and string. But I thought of it as I was working that, oh yeah, I could have done that too. That would have been really fun. And then let's just take a look really quick at how this looks. And see, that by itself looks really cute. So I might just make sure I have an extra 15 seed bead in there. And then I'll start stringing my pattern. And I'm just going to repeat everything that I have here on the right side. And just repeat that back up. So yeah, this is so eclectic. It's so cool. I just wanted to show you the progress, how that's going to look. It's really neat. So I'm just getting these 3 on there. Yeah, I like it. All right, so I have finished the design. And this whole time I've been working here, I've just been still, on the spool. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the spool, but I'll finish one side first. But just to give you a visual of how pretty this turned out. There it is. So I'm going to clean up my size 15 seed beads really quick and then get ready to do some crimping. All right, so I have, I ended without a 15. So these beads right here have a larger hole diameter, and I think I can get the beading wire to go back through the beads. So I went ahead and did not put a 15 there at the end. And so on one side, I'm going to put on a crimp. And then let's put on the clasp for this side. Bring our beading wire back through the crimp, and then I like to go through one bead. You don't have to worry as much about the tightening yet, because on this side, we can tighten it from the other side because we still have it on the spool. So there's that one. And I might get a crimp cover if I can find it. Oops, sorry about that. That was loud. I apologize. And let's just trim that beading wire there. Okay. So from the spool side, just make sure, let gravity help you out. Make sure that it's completely suspended, and then bring it into a coil like that. That way you know you're getting lots of motion on your beading wire, and then leave yourself enough to do some comfy crimping on that end. Let's get our crimp bead and a jump ring in this case. And then I'm going to go back through the bead, back through the crimp and the bead. Okay, let's tighten that up to right about there. And we'll do a crimp. There it is. So easy, so pretty. And it's just like one of those kind of wanderer styles. I like it a lot. Very cool. I did love how the little suspension came out, but keep in mind you can do so many different things that like basically anything you do here is going to look pretty. And then here's another great look at the chain. How pretty that came out. I'll link that. And there it is. All right, let's make a pair of earrings. We'll try it all on at the end here. But I'm just going to set this gently over here on the side. And let's get those gorgeous, puffy, let me make sure I'm calling these what they are again, just in case. Poppy flower coin charms is what we're calling those. And so I want to test one thing. I want to test the size of jump ring I need. If I don't have a jump ring that works, I might do a wrapped loop. And I just want to do a very simple, gorgeous dangle and drop. Pop some ear wires on there and call it good. All right, so I decided on some 18 gauge wire. I think 20 gauge would also work, but I was looking for something strong because these are going to be jump ring. Starting with one side, I'm going to make sure it's nice and flush cut. I did use some nylon jaw pliers to make sure that the edges are, that the wire is smoothed out. And then of course I flush cut so the edges are smooth. I'm going to want to make a pretty big jump ring. I think the jump rings are going to need to be at least as big as the fourth, maybe even the fifth step. Let's try both of them and see. I want it to be kind of, I'm going for a Goldilocks here. I want it to not be any bigger than it needs to be, like as far as jump rings go. So this is just testing out on the fourth largest step. And I only need 2 jump rings, so for now I'm just gonna go with that. Two that are this size anyway. And let's cut it flush toward that side. Okay. And then we'll go with flush toward that side. There's 2 big jump rings. See, yeah, that's gonna work. These I would hammer. So let me do that really quick offline. And let's go ahead and attach them. I'm just making sure I got them nice and tight. There we go, there's one. And again, this is 18 gauge wire. There is our lovely, easy connection there. And now it's for the fun part. I am definitely wanting to use these gorgeousnesses. And I thought, in my original vision, I saw something like this, but it doesn't have to be. But you know, let's do something where there's just movement on all of these beads. Let's go down to 20 gauge. 20 gauge is, I think, the biggest that's going to fit through these beads. I did nylon jaw plier those, and I'm flush cutting now. And let's go ahead and do some simple looping. There we go. It's pretty nice. Okay, one side's good. There we go. I'm going to cut that to 1/4 inch. Roll that right up. And then we should have a really nice connection there. And I'm going to repeat that to create a dangle for all of these. And we'll see how that looks. Here we go. So I've got them all assembled. I don't have ear wires yet. I'm going to build those. But what I usually do is, since I have a little variation when I make my simple loops, I don't always get them perfect. So I try to pair a short one with a long one. Does that make sense? Like if I've made some that are too long or too short. And I think I landed that here and here. Okay. So first let's start by putting on this part. Okay. And then we'll assemble that part. Ooh, sorry. A little fumbly today. And let's see, let's open up this one. So these are going to be really statement dangly drop. Feel free to make yours shorter if you want to. I was going for something just very summer, just it's going to swing and sway, right? I'm going to make my own ear wires because I don't have any that I'm excited about. So let me assemble this one and then let's make some ear wires. I have 20 gauge wire. You could use 22. 20 gauge is going to be a little bit stronger, so I'm going to go with that. You will need something to hammer with. And then you're also going to need one of these tools to blunt the part that's going to go through your ear. So working from your wire spool, smooth out a bit of wire and cut 2 equal lengths that are about 3 inches long. And that'll probably be more than you need. That's okay. With your bail forming pliers, create a loop with both wires using your smallest step. And then again, still working with both wires, bring those around a larger step. I'd like these to be kind of like a big ear wire. So I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with the 5th step. So that's going to be this one. Okay. And before I let go of them, I'm going to take my square nose pliers and just down here a little bit below my loops, I'm going to bend back a little bit. And then let's trim. And there's my ear wires. We really do need to do this part though. And I usually do this before I hammer them. And I go to town with it because you don't want to damage your ears. You could also just use a nail file if you don't have one of these little tools. These little tools are handy. I've seen motorized ones. Those are slick. I don't have a motorized one. So I am old school. Making mine. There we go. You'll know when you've kind of got it because you'll stop feeling resistance on the tool. There we go. I'm going to hammer these off camera here really quick. And let's finish them up. So before you put on your ear wire, just kind of hold the piece. And I'm noticing that this is going to be the front. They are going to move around on you, but there'll be a side where the front part of the gorgeous little poppy is going to kind of hang towards the front. So you can put your ear wire on so that it dangles that way. But just know that it's going to move around a bunch on you when you're wearing it. And so that's going to be the front side here. Let me set that down. Front side there. There they are, so cute. Okay, let me put that next to the necklace. And then I'm going to switch my camera and let's do a try on. So here's our gorgeous necklace. It came out so cute. I love the way that this tassel is so bunchy and just so full. It has a lot of really pretty beads in it. Really glamorous looking. There it is. So yeah, definitely need to do a try on. So let's start with the earrings. Yeah, I love it. So I already have summer. I know it's January right now, but summer, hello. Ready for summer, right? I can just see these on at like, just, going to some like outdoor event maybe, right? So those are really cool. And I probably would wear them separate from the necklace. Like I might make a bracelet and do the earrings with the bracelet, but I'll just try on the necklace with these, even though it's at the risk of being a little too much. But then again, that's never stopped me. Yep, I got the length right. Okay. See? Yeah. It's pretty cool. I can see this on the cover of like one of those magazines. I've been getting some of the like fashion mags that have, with a nice blazer and then like the long necklace with the tassels on it. I've been seeing that in a lot of designer fashion magazines lately. So I think it's coming in a trend for the summer. That's just one of my little like guesses for our summertime. What do you guys think? Do you like it? It's very simple. It's like your everyday go-to thing, but with beads like this. You put it together and it is very special. So I hope you loved it, and I will catch you for the next design, which, let's see. I can't remember which airs first, but I have another design coming up that I'm excited about with more beads from Sam's Bead Shop. So actually, whenever you're watching this, that's probably true. So there you go. See you for the next one, and happy beading.